If you're reading this, chances are you're navigating one of the most painful emotional experiences, losing someone you deeply care about. Whether it was sudden or a slow drift that left you confused and heartbroken, the ache is real. In these moments, it's natural to want to reach out, to fix things immediately, to say the right words and get her back. But there's a crucial distinction you need to understand: vulnerability versus neediness, and how you approach this difference can define what happens next. Vulnerability is about being honest, raw, and human. It's when you say, "I miss you," or "I still care," without expecting anything in return. It's not manipulation or strategy, it's truth. Vulnerability comes from strength. It shows you're connected to your emotions, and it lets her see the real you without pressure. It invites closeness rather than forcing it. Neediness, however, stems from fear. It's when you're over-communicating, constantly texting, calling, apologizing for things you don't need to apologize for. It comes from a deep belief that you need her in order to be okay, and that's where the danger lies. Neediness doesn't pull people closer. It repels them, because it creates pressure, and pressure never feels safe or attractive. It suffocates. If you were her, ask yourself, would you want to reconnect with someone who seems desperate for your attention, or with someone who knows their worth and shares their feelings without expecting you to fill their void? The answer is obvious. Vulnerability is magnetic because it's rare. Most people hide behind ego or insecurity. But when you're able to express your heart honestly, without clinging or begging, you stand out. That's what creates the space for real connection to rebuild. Not pleading, not proving. Just presence, truth, and inner strength. One of the biggest misconceptions many men have when trying to win back a woman is the idea that control will fix things. They think that if they just say the right thing, do the right thing, or act the right way, they can steer the situation back into their favor. But relationships don't work like that. Control is an illusion. What really matters and what creates long-term attraction and respect is boundaries. Without boundaries, everything else crumbles. When you're constantly available, always responding immediately, doing anything she asks without hesitation, or canceling your own plans to be there for her, you might think you're showing love. But what you're actually doing is signaling that your needs, time, and self-worth come second. This makes you look less like a confident man and more like someone who's afraid of losing her at any cost. That fear will always show, and it's never attractive. On the other hand, when you set clear boundaries, when you say, "This is what I need," or "This is where I draw the line," you immediately shift the dynamic. You're no longer trying to win her back from a place of weakness. You're showing her that you respect yourself enough not to be walked over. That's powerful. Boundaries don't mean being cold, cutting her off, or playing games. They simply mean that you're not willing to compromise your identity just to keep someone in your life. Women are drawn to men who have a clear sense of self. Someone who knows who he is, what he stands for, and won't let anyone, no matter how much he loves them, violate that. When you operate from that place, not only do you regain your balance, but you also become someone she can admire and respect. Again, and that is the foundation for anything real to return. When someone you love pulls away, it's easy to fall into a trap of thinking that she was your only shot at happiness. Your thoughts revolve around what you've lost and how to get it back. That mindset, called scarcity, will quietly destroy your confidence, your energy, and your ability to move forward. Scarcity makes you feel like if you don't get her back, nothing else will ever feel right. But the truth is that's just fear talking. What you need instead is an abundance mindset, and making that shift changes everything. An abundance mindset starts with one powerful truth: you are enough. Your worth isn't determined by whether or not she's in your life. You were whole before her, and you can be whole again. This mindset isn't about pretending you don't care. It's about realizing that even if this relationship doesn't work out, there are still countless opportunities for happiness, love, growth, and connection ahead. You aren't limited to this one relationship. Life is bigger than that. When you adopt this mindset, your energy changes. You stop chasing, you stop acting out of fear, you become someone who is calm, grounded, and centered. That energy is magnetic. It shows her and the world that you value yourself, that you won't beg to be chosen, and that you trust what's meant for you won't need to be forced. Women are deeply drawn to men who operate this way because it shows strength, maturity, and emotional security. Let go of the fear that she was your last chance. She wasn't. This isn't the end. It's an opportunity. The more you lean into the belief that your life is full of possibilities, the more attractive and powerful you become. That's how you stop needing her and start choosing what's best for you. It's completely normal to have her on your mind constantly after a breakup or when things feel uncertain. You might find yourself replaying every conversation, every message, and every moment, searching for answers about where things went wrong. This kind of obsessive thinking is exhausting, but more importantly, it keeps you stuck. The problem is that your mind isn't focused on reality. It's addicted to the idea of her, the what-ifs, and the possibilities that might never come true. This mental loop prevents you from moving forward and healing. When you get caught in overthinking, it's usually because you want control. You want to understand why, fix the problem, and predict what will happen next. But the truth is, some things are out of your control, and trying to force clarity only leads to more confusion and self-doubt. The more you ruminate, the more overwhelmed and stuck you feel. Your thoughts become a prison rather than a tool for growth. The key to breaking this cycle is shifting your focus from the past to the future. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen?" or "What did I do wrong?" start asking, "What can I do now?" Redirect your mental energy toward yourself. Focus on building habits, goals, and passions that have nothing to do with her. Pick up a new hobby, commit to regular exercise, or dive into work or creative projects. These actions don't just distract you, they help you rebuild your sense of purpose and identity beyond the relationship. This shift won't happen overnight, but every step you take away from obsessive thinking and toward positive action strengthens your mindset and your emotional resilience. You start to reclaim your power, proving to yourself that your happiness and peace aren't dependent on someone else. When you stop living in the loop of obsessive thought, you open the door to genuine healing and new possibilities. Getting her back doesn't begin with changing her mind. It begins with changing yourself. After the pain and confusion, it's time to focus on rebuilding who you are from the inside out. This means becoming the best, strongest version of yourself, not for anyone else, but for you. It's about reclaiming your confidence, your passion, and your sense of purpose. When you focus on your mental, physical, and emotional growth, you create a magnetic energy that naturally draws people in, including her. This isn't about pretending to be someone else or putting on a show. It's about returning to the qualities that first attracted her: strength, confidence, and authenticity. Hit the gym, set new goals in your career, reconnect with friends, and explore interests that excite you. These aren't distractions, they're the foundation of a fulfilling life. As you build yourself up, you stop chasing and start attracting. You become the man who commands respect and admiration simply by living his life fully. She'll notice the difference, not because you tried to impress her, but because you're living on your own terms. This shift changes everything. Whether or not she comes back, you'll have gained something far more valuable: a stronger, more confident you.